Now at 6, we visit a ceremony to send off an area National Guard company as they prepare to deploy overseas. Plus, a suspect leads Newton County, Missouri authorities on a high-speed chase. What we know as police search for the suspect. And a Southeast Kansas man uses his love for dog training to benefit his community.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Family, friends, and supporters gathered at Carthage High School as some area National Guard members prepare to head overseas. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Kerry Worthen was there and talked with a soldier and his family.
Mothers, daughters, sons, and husbands like Franklin Queen are just some of the Missouri National Guardsmen deploying to the Horn of Africa.
It's the first time I've ever been deployed. I actually just got married this year and found out we're gonna have a boy this year in May.
I don't think it's really hit me fully yet, just because it's been a whirlwind. I think once we actually leave today, it's going to be a lot more stressful, especially because we have our little one on the way.
These soldiers underwent countless hours of training to prepare for deployment overseas.
So they actually started the preparation about a year ago, and they go through several their annual training events, and then they get evaluated prior to, and they just spent the last 3 weeks doing their final evaluation.
The 294th Engineer Company's mission is to conduct construction projects.
It's harder on the families staying here than it is on the soldiers going forward in a lot of cases.
I can't even tell you how proud I am.
This is a really big moment for a lot of people, and I'm proud to go and represent the Missouri National Guard and the United States Army over in Africa.
In Carthage, Kerry Worthen, KOAM News.
The National Guard could not comment on specifics about the deployment, but did say they're going to be there through the fall and winter of 2023. A suspect led Newton County Police on a high-speed chase last night. Speed stopped 105 miles an hour. Authorities say the suspect left a car near Jacob Lane and ran into Shoal Creek. And police believe that person crossed Shoal Creek where railroad tracks were. Authorities asked a train to stop in case the suspect tried to hop on. That chase began near Downstream Boulevard of a suspected DWI driver. The chase passed through several Joplin streets. At last report, the suspect had not been found, but did leave items in the car that could help identify who it is. Police say a football player at Fort Hays State University in Kansas was shot and killed outside a bar in Oklahoma City on New Year's Day. 22-year-old Daniel Howard was killed and others were injured in the shooting at Sunset Patio Lounge. Authorities say several people were kicked out of the bar after a fight broke out. The shooting occurred when the argument continued into a nearby parking lot. Howard played 2 years at Northeastern Oklahoma A&M in Miami, Oklahoma, before transferring to Fort Hays State in Kansas in the spring of last year. There was no word on the conditions of the others who were injured. A Carl Junction, Missouri woman is dead following a crash in Greene County, Missouri. Authorities say yesterday 30-year-old Jennifer Hood drove off US 65 on a curve north of Springfield, then crossed the median into oncoming traffic where she hit another car head-on. The driver of that other car, 18-year-old Madison Ruse of Pleasant Hope, Missouri, and her passenger, 49-year-old Andrew Ruse, suffered serious injuries. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Dow. Yeah, it's a beautiful day across the area. Lots of sunshine and cool temperatures. Radar is clear right now, and it's going to stay that way for a little bit longer. Over the last 36 hours, yesterday we were in the 50s, and then we dropped down into the 30s, right around freezing this morning. but we've recovered up into the upper 40s this afternoon, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice evening. In fact, if you're heading out, we're going to be looking at temperatures in the mid 40s, dropping down into the 30s, all the way down to 29 by tomorrow morning. And that's going to be the trend over the next few mornings. Chilly mornings, but then some Saturday showers in our forecast, followed by a dry pattern. And then maybe in the extended forecast, a mixture of some winter-like precipitation. Of course, we'll have more details on that straight ahead.
Yes, sir. A Missouri inmate was put to death yesterday for a 2003 killing in what's believed to be the first execution of a transgender woman in the U.S. 49-year-old Amber McLaughlin was convicted of stalking and killing a former girlfriend, then dumping the body near the Mississippi River in St. Louis. David Amilati hears from protesters who say the execution perpetuates this cycle of violence.
I try not to be angry or mad, but I have a lot of righteous indignation.
Dozens of supporters, including Michelle Smith with Missourians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty, stood in solidarity outside the prison, forming a prayer circle as 49-year-old Amber McLaughlin was executed. Back in 2003, Amber was Scott McLaughlin, who was accused and later convicted of raping and murdering Beverly Gunther in Earth City. Scott transitioned while in prison, chose to identify as Amber.
Amber was never sentenced to death by a jury. A judge did this, and so we believe that judges, one person, should not have that sort of power.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson stands by his decision to deny McLaughlin clemency ahead of Tuesday's execution. In this statement given to News 4, the governor says McLaughlin's conviction and sentence remains after multiple thorough examinations of Missouri law. McLaughlin stalked, raped, and murdered Miss Gunther. McLaughlin is a violent criminal.
Just the death penalty as a whole, to strip someone of their humanity and make a choice of retribution is it's disgraceful.
Michaela Joy Kramer calls the death row inmate a friend. The two spoke Monday night, less than 24 hours before McLaughlin's execution.
I have a special connection to Amber because of our shared experience, but I mean, KJ was murdered, a couple months ago, and we have more coming up. This isn't about her being transgender. This is just the part that I can really find her humanity.
This country executes the innocent, the mentally ill, the intellectually disabled. There is no stopping, or there is no point of which this state will not kill someone. But we will continue amplifying these cases.
Correctional officers told protesters that execution was complete at 6:47 p.m. Still ahead, we're going to visit a Southeast Kansas man who's benefiting his community with his love for dog training. Plus, community members in Carthage meet the school district's new superintendent. The Carthage School District today hosted a meet and greet with the district's new superintendent. The Carthage Board of Education announced Dr. Luke Boyer from Conway, Missouri accepted the position. He'll replace Dr. Mark Baker, who served as superintendent for 6 years.
This is my 23rd year in education, 17 years in administration. So I think there's an experience that I can bring to the table. Looking to be just pretty collaborative. I think Dr. Baker's established a great team of administrators for me to really just lean on.
Boyer's contract begins on July 1st. To learn more about Dr. Luke Boyer, download the KOAM News Now app. One man in Iola, Kansas has figured out how to turn his love for dog handling into a positive impact in his community. Now, it might not be easy, but Chase Martin will tell you you can teach an old dog new tricks. KOAM's Amber Jenkins introduces us to a dog training program that sounds more like a labor of love.
Oh, good boy.
Chase and Tails is a new dog training business in Iola, Kansas. The owner, Chase Martin, wanted to give the Iola community another option when dealing with an unruly K9.
So I wanted to offer a different solution than taking it to the shelter or euthanization. I wanted to offer, hey, not every dog is a lost cause.
Martin's love for dogs started young. He served in the U.S. Marines as a canine handler and in code enforcement for Iola.
That type of bond that I shared with my military working dog, that's something that I don't know can be replicated, but it's a base definitely for what I try to do to teach people how to handle their dogs.
Before Chasing Tails, dog owners in Iola had to drive hours to a big city for training.
It's really difficult to find someone in this area. I traveled to Kansas City for training. which for a lot of people is just not possible. So having someone, I found him through my job, available in this area was so much easier for me and my schedule.
Since starting Chasing Tails 4 months ago, Martin is making an impact in the community with his expertise.
So I work in the veterinary medicine field, and so not only has it benefited my own dog, but it's been awesome as someone who works there to recommend it to our clients, that there's someone accessible for our clients that is not only able to do obedience but tackle some of the behavior issues that we see as well.
Reporting in Iola, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Chasing Tails is currently accepting new dogs for training. For more information, go to KOAMnewsnow.com. A little bit later, we're going to hear from the Joplin Eagles as they prepare to host William Chrisman in the Kaminsky Classic.
We're also going to have a look at your weekend forecast as well as a look at the California storm too when we return. Well, it turned out to be a pretty nice day across the area with lots of sunshine and a little bit on the cool side, but it is typical for early January. Right now outside at Seneca, Missouri at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, just a few clouds passing by, some altocumulus clouds, but that's about it. Nothing really going on weather-wise for the most part. This afternoon we made it up to 48 degrees, which was 4 degrees above the normals. 32 for the low, which was about 7 degrees above normal for that. So we at least were above normal today. Nowhere near the records, of course, of 69 and -7. Satellite view shows that big storm system that was over us a couple of days ago now pulling up into the northern plains is just basically spinning over northern Iowa, producing quite a bit of severe weather in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia yesterday, and even in Illinois a little bit yesterday as well. But all that severe weather is now well to the east of us. Instead, we're watching its severe weather across the western United States with this huge bomb of a storm off the coast of California, now starting to move onshore in San Francisco. They're about to get hit with some extremely heavy rain in the next few hours. Landslides are expected as this storm system makes its way along the west coast, and so a big storm for them. Not for us though. We're going to stay in the nice air for a little while longer. We're going to see temperatures right now in the 40s across our area. Lower 40s up in Yates Center where they're 41, 45 over there in Cassville for one of the warmer readings. In fact, we're looking at temperatures cooler than they were 24 hours ago over to the east. Out to the west, though, temperatures are starting to warm up, though. So that's a sign of things to come as we head over the next couple of days. We're going to see a lot more sunshine and also a little bit warmer temperatures. Dew points are in the 20s right now, so it's still pretty dry out there. That's allowing the temperature to drop at nighttime due to the radiational cooling. Right now, it's 43 in Joplin with the west wind out of the west-southwest at 10, so it makes it feel like 37 out there with a dew point of 25 degrees. Forecast tonight, just a few clouds passing by, but by tonight we'll be dropping down into the 30s and upper 20s across most of the area. 31 in Morgan Mound City, 28 in Garnett for one of the cooler readings, 30 down in Grove, and 32 in Pineville. Then tomorrow, a lot like today, northwesterly winds with temperatures rising into the mid-40s across the area, upper 40s down to the south, maybe 50 in Miami. Then as we head into Friday morning, a warm front will start to move in from the south, but it's really not going to affect our temperatures that much. We're going to see temperatures again in the 20s and 30s for lows. Then on Friday afternoon, we'll start to see some more clouds roll into the area with highs in the mid to upper 50s, 40s up to the north of the boundary. Then as we go through Friday night into Saturday morning, we're going to see showers developing along that front up to the north and northeast for the most part. Not a whole lot, but we'll keep an eye on it. Then we're going to be looking at rainfall amounts on the light side. Not expecting a whole lot of precipitation from the system on Saturday morning, but up to the north and east, they might get a few raindrops in the old rain bucket. All right, let's take a look down the road. We're going to be dealing with the chilly weather in the mornings during the day, over the next couple of days. Mild conditions during the afternoon. That storm system will rapidly move off towards the east, and then we'll be back in the mild conditions once again as we head into the early part of next week. Here's your forecast. 46 tomorrow, 55 on Friday, 51 on Saturday with those showers in the morning. Again, best chance of that up to the north. And then we still stay in the 50s, Dow, into the early part of next week with temperatures not too bad for this time of year. Could be worse, that's for sure.
Yeah, for January, hitting 50s.
Absolutely, we'll take it.
You bet. Thanks, Sam. Still ahead, the Missouri Tigers hit the floor for a top 20 matchup with Arkansas, and the Joplin boys return from the holiday break to host the Kaminsky Classic beginning on Thursday. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
Well, the Joplin boys return from the holiday break this week, hosting the 2023 Kaminsky Classic. Joplin kicks off the tournament tomorrow afternoon, facing William Chrisman. Now, the Eagles are the reigning tournament champs in their home tournament. Right now, Joplin's 5-3, heading into Thursday's opener against the Bears. Now, here's the team on trying to repeat and getting to play in front of the entire school at 2 o'clock.
Last year, the crowd was just amazing. Like, the whole school, they're always supporting. We have a really good support system around us. So, when we get to play in front of them, it's just, it's really cool. So we like to come out with the win and just show them what we're about.
I think the pride is the key thing there. I know last year was the first time we've won it since 1999. So I think it'd be cool to go back-to-back on that one. So using both of that as kind of like motivation going into the game, I think would be great for these kids.
The Missouri Tigers are off to a hot start this season. The Tigers are 12-1 and have made the national rankings for the first time this season, sitting at number 20 in this week's AP poll. In their last two games, they've beaten 19th ranked Kentucky and 16th ranked Illinois. And tonight, they face their third straight ranked opponent on the road against Arkansas. The Razorbacks are 11-2 and ranked 13th in the nation. That one will get started at 7:30. We'll have the latest from the game right here tonight at 10. In the Big 12, big opportunity tonight for the Oklahoma Sooners. They're at home against 25th ranked Iowa State. That one's already started with the Cyclones up 18-5 early. Iowa State has made 8 of its first 12 shots in the game. Staying in the Big 12, the Kansas State Wildcats picked up a big-time win last night, beating Texas 116-103. The 219 combined points between the two teams is a new Big 12 record for a regulation game. Marquise Noel scored a game-high 36 points for the Wildcats to go along with 9 assists. K-State is now 13-1 overall, including 2-0 in the Big 12. The Kansas City Chiefs finish up the regular season this weekend on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Chiefs will face the Raiders on Saturday at 3:30. This is the second meeting of the season between these two teams. In the first one, Kansas City won, but they had to work for it, getting by Vegas 30-29. Now, this Saturday's meeting will be the first NFL game since the league postponed Monday's Bengals-Bills game after Bills corner Damar Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest on the field, had to be taken to a local hospital in Cincinnati.
We're going to be the first game back, and so it's hard to say. I mean, there's a job that you have to do. You put all this work in for months to try to go out there and play your best football. But when you get on that field, I'm sure it'll be a little bit of a weird feeling because it was such a scary incident that was terrifying that I think everybody saw. And so we will see when we get out there, but I know our guys will just get out there and hopefully when we get to play in the game again, it can be fun and everybody can enjoy it like we have our whole lives.
I cannot imagine how hard it will be for the players to go back out there and play after seeing what happened on Monday night.
It's going to be a little strange even for fans watching the game.
No doubt.
I think they'll be thinking about that for sure. We'll be right back. Take some time now to honor a local veteran. Clarence Brown served in the U.S. Army from 1952 to 1965. The Oswego, Kansas native was stationed in Korea, and we're proud to salute Clarence Brown, a four-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. An increase in gun violence in parts of the country is putting a bigger burden on hospitals, particularly when it comes to staffing issues. Plus, we're going to have the latest on the historic political battle in choosing a new House Speaker. And an increasing number of Americans are participating in Dry January. Those stories, a lot more. It's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
We're going to have a dry January so far.
That's just what I was going to get to. I don't know if weather-wise it'll be a dry January.
It's going to be a pretty dry week. Well, maybe a few showers on Saturday morning, but most of that will be up to the north. But if we look at the extended forecast, we're still going to be in the 40s and 50s for highs and lows in the 30s. So not too bad.
Not bad at all. Final sports notes.
Again, the Chiefs playing a day early this week. They play on Saturday. The Chiefs in that game against the Raiders are 9.5-point favorites.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.